Hey up everyone, Magpie Gaming here. I hope you're all doing well. So Nikita has followed through on his threat or promise or whatever you want to call it to remove traders from the game and flea market access. So yesterday evening UK time he put this tweet out saying that if it got 30,000 likes he would remove all traders in the game. He then put another one on saying that if he got 45,000 likes he was also going to remove access to the flea market for a total of 5 days. It reached the 45,000 mark sometime during the night whilst I was asleep, and he's made good on his promise. So the traders are steadily being removed from the game. At the time of me doing this audio, the only ones left are Therapist and Peacekeeper and Fence. So by the time I get this video rendered and up and you guys watch it, all of the traders will likely have gone, but I don't know about Fence. Fence might still remain, but we'll talk about him a little bit more in a minute. Flea market access has also gone. Now you can still go on the flea market and buy things, but you can't list anything. So the only things that are really left on the market now are those stupidly expensive listed items that people have maybe put on and put in the wrong amount for. They've maybe put 1 too many in, or they've managed, they've maybe put them up knowing that this was coming and thought, you know what, I might chance it and see if somebody will pay stupid money for it. I've just seen an SVD on there for 1 million. There's some grey fuel on there that was going for 800 and 900,000, but all of the weapons are looking pretty dry. I think everything that was cheap has been bought up by people. All of the provisions that was pretty cheap has been bought up too. So what does this mean for players over the next 5 days? Well, as well as not having access to the basics in the game such as weapon, ammunition and other kit, armor, bags, things like that, rigs, you've also got no access to fuel. So it's looking as though the hideout, or everybody's hideouts, will eventually run dry over the next few days. I think even if you've got it fully fueled and you've got the solar power going, I think you will still run out before the 5 days. I could be wrong, you might just scrape through, but I think for the vast majority of people your hideout is going to run dry. So if you're not crafting anything, you maybe want to turn that fuel on and off and just conserve it for when you do want to craft something. You're also not going to have access to food. Food is only going to be what you can find in raid or whether you've got a good stash of it, and this goes for a lot of things: weapons, ammo and kit, meds and liquids. If you've got a good stash of them, then you might be able to see this out without having to scavenge too much as a scav. But like I say, all of the access from the traders and from the flea market is gone, so unless you've got a massive stash, you're going to have to go and try and scavenge in raid for those sort of basics from the game. So it's casual players that are going to be hit the hardest with this. Obviously, for those of us that have been gaming for months and we've got good stashes, we have lots of weapons to call on if we need to. We've got lots of kit stashed away in, in cases within cases. We've got the stuff there if we want to go in. But on the flip side, if people are thinking, you know what, I'm not going to run my high-end gear, I'm going to save that. So it may level the playing field a little bit for casual players and indeed new players coming into the game. It might not be as bad as you think, but it's going to take a few days for people to maybe burn through those things, or maybe people just to think, you know what, I'm not going to run my good gear anymore because nobody else is, so they might just hold back on that. So it could level the playing field, but I do feel for the casual players, and I really do feel for new players coming into this game. It's easy for those of us that play it a lot. We see the wipes happen. You get a lot of publicity generated around a wipe, and it brings a lot of new players in, but I think sometimes we forget that there are new players coming into the game every day. And if I just bought this game this morning and went in, I'd be wondering what the hell is going on. New players maybe don't follow the social media or know what's going on, or even seasoned everyday players might not follow the social media and not know what's going on. So yeah, I do feel for people like that when events like this are done, even if you could class this as an event. Is it an event? I don't know. Everybody seems to be calling it one, so I'm going to call it one anyway. So what does this mean in terms of the game? What is actually going on in the background here? Well, we've had this image that was posted across Battlestate's social media in the last couple of hours, and it says, all these threats from the Lightkeeper force us to go into hiding until better times. Apparently he's got everybody by the balls and not just us. Perhaps even the Ragman will have to close up his place. Well, Ragman has already closed up his place, he's gone. So clearly something is going on in the background with the game. Clearly something is coming or is on its way. Lots of rumours, like I've covered over the last couple of weeks, about what could or could not be going on with the game. So a lot of people still think that we're going to get a wipe tomorrow and there's going to be a huge update to the game. I don't see that happening. You're not going to wipe when you don't have some sort of, decent event, and this isn't a decent event. This is just something that they're doing or trialing or testing. Usually when there's a wipe coming, you have a chance to burn through all your gear, although I do remember, I don't know if it was the last wipe or the wipe before that, it just wiped and nobody really had a chance to do anything. There were no pre-wipe events or anything like that, but I still can't see there being a wipe tomorrow. Why would Nikita say he's going to remove everything for 5 days and then wipe into like the second day? That wouldn't make sense. So there are some rumours that maybe the Lightkeeper, the new trader, will be introduced after these 5 days or maybe during these 5 days. Now, one of the things that I didn't think of before, but I've started to think of, is this trader could be introduced into the game without the Lighthouse expansion. He doesn't have to be fixed onto Lighthouse for you to access him. You might still be able to access him from the usual trader menu, but it could be that the things that he sells through the trader menu are maybe slightly different than what he will sell if you actually visit him in game when we get the Lighthouse expansion. So it could be that this is some way of introducing him into the game. He might pop up during these 5 days, or he might just suddenly appear at the end of the 5 days when the flea market and the traders are turned back on. I really don't know. I think that's probably the most likely thing that could be happening, or it could be that at the end of these 5 days we get the Lighthouse expansion and the Lightkeeper is added into the game. Just because everybody goes on about a Fairs Day being the day that it wipes and being the day that it's going to update doesn't mean it has to be. So yeah, maybe this is building up to that, but I just don't know. My most likely theory is that we're just going to get the Lightkeeper added after these 5 days. I still don't think that the Lighthouse expansion is ready to go, but I could be wrong. So yeah, we'll just have to see how the next 5 days play out. I think some people will just simply not bother playing the game. Sometimes these sort of events, as they're termed, just don't appeal to a lot of people. I've seen different posts across social media with people loving this and other people saying, what's the point of it? It's just going to put people off playing. It's going to put new people off coming into the game. Other people on the flip side saying, these events keep the game fresh, to keep us, wondering, to keep us on our toes. For me personally, I'm still going to play the game, or at least try to play the game. The issue that I'm going to have is that some of the people that I game with probably won't buy into this event. They won't want to waste gear just for the sake of it. They'd sooner go play something else for a few days and then come back to it when everything is back to normal. Me, on the other hand, I'm quite interested to see how this is going to play out. So am I just going to use my scav more and try and go back into PMC raids with the scav gear that I get out, rather than using my sort of, high-end expensive gear? I really don't know how I'm going to play the game at the moment, but I'm going to give it a try. I think PvP in certain maps will be very high at the moment, because I think a lot of people are going to try and farm raiders and rogues. So you're going to see a lot of PvP action on maps like Labs, definitely Reserve, and definitely Lighthouse as well, because the raiders and the rogues are going to have, probably within the next 36 to 48 hours, probably going to be running the best gear out of any of us. So yeah, it's an interesting event. That's what people want to term it. I'm not sure I do. But yeah, we'll see where this one goes and see how we come out the other side of it. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this. Are you really into this? Do you think it's really good? Or do you think it's just a complete waste of time and really fucks with the game? I don't really know where I sit. I'm trying to sit in the middle on this one. Usually when the economy is messed with like this, it denotes something big that's going to happen in the game. That big thing is usually a wipe, but I just can't see this being something that denotes a wipe. But we'll see. Like I say, you can never second guess Battlestate games. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Stay safe, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.